G'day guys, welcome to this episode of the Journey Van Build series following Mel's Toyota HiAce van conversion.
In this episode, we're going to talk about the heart of the van, the electrical system.
Right now, we are actually in the front cab of the van, looking behind the driver's seat at the back of the cabinetry, where you can see that the electrical system is neatly tucked away. We'll introduce you quickly to all of the components in the system and then talk about our experience putting it all together. Our system here is being charged from two sources. Firstly, the 175 watt solar panel on the roof, as well as the DC to DC charging from the starter battery of the car. All of that energy is running into our 2-in-1 battery charger from Renogy, which is then feeding our 100 amp hour lithium ion battery. Once the power is in the battery, it has two places that it can go. Either to the 1000 watt inverter, which is powering our 240 volt power in the desk area in the van, or to the 12 volt fuse block, which is running throughout the van to all of our 12 volt appliances. Other than that, there are a number of circuit breakers, fusing, as well as a kill switch and a shunt in there that are all making the cabling look a little bit confusing as it is. But if you're interested, you can head to the Journey Van Build's website, where I have a really easy to follow diagram that covers all of the components, as well as the fuse sizing and cable sizing as well.
It started raining and Jake got wet, so we quickly hopped inside and now it's nice and cozy, so we can continue.
So we'll start with the first step in the 12 volt electrical system process, which is running all of the cables throughout the van where they need to end up.
So for the roughing, we used Jake's van as a blueprint, which saved us a lot of time because we basically knew a lot of cables where they go. But also I wanted to have some changes, like for example a light in the office or the strip lights, as well as two-way switches on either doors. But for that we still needed to do a lot of planning actually.
Yeah, so we did, even though we had my van to reference, which helped a lot, there was a lot of planning to make sure, because it has to be basically perfect, especially when you start looking at your cabinetry in the end. You have a little hole poking out of the wall. Before you've even starting your cabinetry, it needs to come out in the exact perfect spot. So there is a lot of planning with not just the cables and what thicknesses and where everything needs to run, but also exactly where your cabinetry is going to be and the dimensions of everything before you've even started building the cabinetry.
Yeah, and to get all this right, we also drew like some nice little diagrams with how the switches would work and how they need to be connected. And then actually also before we put the walls on, we tried it all like with a battery and like connected some little strip lights to it. So we really made sure that our circuits is working.
So again, just more planning and preparation that went into it.
Yeah, and one thing we actually did not on purpose, we put in a cable, like a spare cable, which helped us at the end because we couldn't put another cable in, and I decided spontaneously I wanted a dimmer instead of a switch. So we needed another cable. And so one tip we can definitely give you is like maybe put 1 or 2 spare cables in, which you don't plan to use, but at the end, if you want to put something in afterwards or just forget something, you can use them as a backup.
So after heaps of planning of where everything is going to be, it came to actually running these little cables all throughout the van, which we spent, 2 or 3 days doing in the end, amongst other things.
Yeah, so basically the first thing is like you just run them really loosely and connect them just with a cable tie, but also there one tip, don't tie them really strong straight away, just leave them loose so you can still feed cables through, because otherwise you're constantly just cutting one off, putting it on, cutting it off, because there's always another one that needs to go through there and another one here, and you need more on this side, so you pull on it, and then if everything is already super tight, you can't pull on them anymore. And once you have all of that, all the cable rough in, you really should go through everything again. Just do it all twice or 3 times even to make sure that it's right, because as we said, you can't change it afterwards once the walls are in.
Yeah, and part of that is the labeling. So we went to a lot of effort to label everything, sitting there, pulling on one end, seeing what was coming out the other end. Just knowing where everything was meant to be poking out of the wall, getting that in position, and then labeling absolutely everything, because I can promise you at the end of the build, when you're looking at a blank wall with 3 cables coming out of it, you're going to have no memory of what's going where. So the labeling is really important as well.
Definitely, because I thought it's way too much what he did, and at the end I was so pissed off at myself because I didn't label it like right, and it takes way more work afterwards to figure out which cable is what than if you really label it like really for idiots, just where this cable exactly is going from to where on both sides, not just on one side, because at the end you can't see the other side. Just like for idiots, really,
yeah, idiot proof.
Everything on every single cable.
Yeah.
That saves you a lot of time at the end. Also, when you measure the length of the cable, consider that you really put it onto the wall and not just roughly, because every single edge you have to go takes at the end a lot of the length.
Yeah, and I would say don't underestimate how
Yeah.
long you need to get through the van. Like, you know, if you buy 10 meters of cables and you have to do one length from the back of the van up over the ceiling and to the front, it's like almost gone by the time you do a positive and negative. So yeah, it's a lot more cables than you expect, and yeah, make sure you're doing the lengths exactly. I also have another tip on that point that Mel might disagree with, which is to leave yourself a little bit of extra at the end. Again, I think it's better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to be having to add more on. You'd rather be just chopping a little bit off to make it neat at the end of the day. So,
I agree. I don't
there you
disagree.
go. So that's a good tip. Once the roughing's done, you can pretty much forget about your cabling until it comes time to putting your electrical board together. But with that being said, it's really easy to forget the cables are behind the wall while you're installing your wall or your ceiling panels. Just make sure that you pre-cut your holes and feed through the cables while you're installing your walls, for example, rather than relying on drilling a hole afterwards to fish them out, because you're going to have massive holes and it just doesn't work that way. So just remember to poke your cables through as you're installing your walls and ceiling. So with all the walls, ceiling and floors in, it was time for the cabinetry, which meant building our electrical board on the back of our kitchen cabinet.
So to do this, we first measured like exactly how much space we have for that, and then cut the board the right size and got all our components, put it on a table, and just thought about what's the best way to fit this in this small little space. What also really helped me was Jake's diagram, which you can find on his website, because I really wanted it to be nice and neat and not having cables running from one side to the other one, if not needed, obviously. So on the diagram you can see easily like what needs to be connected with what. So yeah, I tried to have it all nice and neat. Also, the diagram was really helpful for choosing the right cable, because I would have had no idea which cable size I need. So yeah, just use it. It's helpful for all the electrical boards, basically.
G'day guys, really quickly, we completely forgot to mention while filming this that I've actually organised a Journey Van Builds discount code with Renogy Australia, which is really cool. So if you're interested in any of the Renogy products in this video, you can head to the Renogy Australia website and get some discounts from 6 to 10% off your own builds, which is awesome. Not to mention in the process, you would be supporting the Journey Van Builds page, which is hugely appreciated. All the info for that's going to be in the description for you, of course, and I'll let you get back to it. Cheers. At that point, the board was sitting there finished and ready to go, other than the fact that we left the battery disconnected, apart from when we wanted to test specific elements within the build, because connecting the battery just means it was possible that, you know, exposed wires poking out for a fan or a light somewhere else could possibly be live. So we were careful to leave the permanent connection till the end. So then that's actually a really, really fun part of the build, I think, when it comes time to be installing different appliances, and you kind of have that nerve-wracking moment where you're wondering if it's going to work as you flick this switch.
Basically on every single thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like we tried the pump, and once the pump actually worked, it was like, yeah, nice, it's working, like we did the right thing. And then with the lights especially, because it was kind of complicated for us, like to have the right connection with the two-way switches and everything. And once that worked and the switches worked, it was so nice.
Here it is.
Oh! Oh! Loki!
Holy shit. I'm so happy with that Nook. Look at that. With the texture.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, like to see the van coming alive or getting alive, it was
Yeah, that was
so
a
cool.
good night.
Yeah.
Although we did have a scary moment where it just didn't work
Ah, yeah.
at first. I don't know, actually something was happening. The strip lights were just glowing really dimly and then not working, and we couldn't quite figure it out. And because that was our most complicated circuit, it was really quite
Yeah. Like
frustrating, nerve-wracking.
for 1 second, we really thought we fucked it up.
Luckily, I just didn't have a fuse in the fuse block, so we
Okay.
put the fuse in and then it worked fine. So it was
Yeah.
a bit of excitement for nothing.
It's an up and down. Like you have ups once some part is done, and then something doesn't work, and you have a down, and then you just change a little thing and it's going up again. So it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like soldering was also part of it. It's really fun. It's easy. Like I could easily do it. Jake like showed me once, and then it was quite easy to do.
I think crimping is kind of fun as well. Just making connection. I just love 12-volt electronics, to be honest. It's like being a kid again, being able to play with the circuit boards in school. It's cool. Other than being able to guide Mel through this whole process, which I really enjoyed, probably my favorite part of this electrical build was the two-way switches, which Mel asked for. So basically, again, just be able to turn the ceiling lights on and off regardless of which door you're at, not having to run around to another door to turn a certain circuit off, which is the case in my current van. So that was a really cool little part of the project for me to be able to sort of tinker with that and figure out a new way that you can run those switches. So that was a cool little upgrade, I think.
So guys, the last few days I've been on the road to test all the van and like just if everything works, and I can tell you I love it. I love the strip lights. They look amazing at night when you can dim it down. It's so comfy in here. And yeah, everything, the charger works, the solar works, like it charges during the day when the sun is out. Yeah, I'm so in love with this van. Yeah, I can't. I just love it.
Nice. Yeah, particularly the strip lights, like you can see even just behind us here in the Nook. That's something I'm really jealous of because it's such a cool little inclusion. Every time I look in there, I think, damn it, I need strip lights in my van.
Yeah, and also the office light I think is really helpful. Today we also have been to your van, like doing something, and I really missed light there. Like compared to what we have here now, it's like...
It's hard to go back to my van.
Yeah.
Just to look at it.
Even though if that's already really good, but...
I'll have to do a few upgrades. But yeah, it's been really good. As soon as we were on the road, the DC to DC charging started kicking in, which was all visible on the battery monitor as well, which I don't think we really mentioned so much, but we've got the Renogy battery monitor that's connected to the shunt in the system there, so it tells us all of the amperage that's coming in through the solar and DC, as well as what any of the appliances are using at any given moment as well. So like when the fridge compressor kicks in, you can tell exactly how much power that's using, and it's kind of just interesting to be able to keep a tab on things. So with that, yeah, we could see that everything is working, and yeah, it all looks really good.
Yeah, there's some more videos Jake has which go more in detail on like specific parts, but in general, like the overall, this is it.
Yeah, that was our experience. So yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.
See ya!